back
You have to,
back to the association then. What do you think after having seen the Knicks play the Celtics and
oh
Cleveland play today?
God.
Who do you think is actually going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Is that for me or for
This is
Levon?
an open question to both of y'all.
Okay. Um, I was texting a friend of mine earlier today. Not one on YouTube, but another Nick fan, and I had told him this early in the season when I saw the Knicks play, and when I was watching the Knicks, and I've been saying this now. If you're the worst, this is specifically on the Knicks. If you're the worst team in the NBA statistically at defending the three pointer,
Mm.
and every good team in the NBA, the best teams in the NBA are all adept at shooting threes, you have a problem. You have a big problem. And there's no way that you can project that team that is the worst at defending the one of the most important shots of any good team in the league. There's no way you can project that team to get through multiple rounds of playoffs against teams like that. So the answer to this question, in my opinion, is as of right now, it seems like it's pretty much a lock that it's Boston and Cleveland, 1-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, because every team underneath them either does not shoot as well as them or cannot defend the three as well as they can, and as a result, will eventually lose and will probably lose bad. Um,
So
I
Milwaukee has
hope
no
I'm wrong.
chance.
I hope I'm wrong. I would say if I'm giving the Knicks a chance, if I'm ranking it, I'm saying I would give the Knicks based off of what I've seen the last few weeks, not just those last two games, just based off of what I've seen the last few weeks watching this team play, watching them give up three after three after three against the Bulls, who shoot a really good, who are they shoot a high volume of threes as a team. They're just not really great at it yet. um, Against the Raptors, against the Magic, against pretty much any team and every team that goes out there. They go out there and they shoot threes and they compete. Um, I'm giving the Knicks, if they can't get their acts together from that perspective, I'm giving the Knicks less than a 25% chance to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Um,
That's fair.
and
That's
I'm
legit.
afraid that they won't. I'm afraid that they'll get upset in the first round. I am legitimately afraid for that, depending upon who the matchup is.
The
Looking
sixth
like
seed,
Detroit right now. This
Detroit's
is
not upsetting.
Detroit.
They
I
no
don't think
ain't no
the
Detroit.
way.
first
I
round
wouldn't
matchup
pick.
would be the Pistons. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
Yeah, ain't
pick the
no way.
Pistons to
Well,
beat
the
the
Pistons have
Knicks.
beat us twice so far this year.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't
don't say
pick the
no way.
Pistons to beat the Knicks in a series, but it would every game would be I would be sitting there on every game and saying to myself, "My God, if these guys don't do what they're supposed to do, this team can absolutely beat them because they've done it."
Well, I'm gonna say this. Um, the
Boston
Knicks.
would be playing Orlando, and that actually doesn't bode well for Boston.
That's a hot
I don't
take.
I don't I don't
As
worry about
crazy as
Boston. I
that
don't worry
sounds.
about Boston
What I
in the
mean
Orlando
is
series.
Boston would struggle
Uh,
with Orlando because of their size across the board. They're not going to lose, but it's not just going to be easy
how
wins. They're actually going to have to lock in and try hard. Like
Orlando
Orlando
is
was
finally
good last
healthy.
year.
Like they got
They're
Paolo
Yes,
back.
they're
What about
healthy.
the
they're fully
Wagner
healthy.
twins?
They got
Franz
Wagner
back.
They got Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero back before the All Star break. About want to say in the beginning of February.
Same question to you, Ace.
that
Then
wouldn't.
before you go, Levon. Same
Yeah.
question to you. What percentage do you give Orlando to beat Boston in a four-game series?
I give them a 20% chance.
Okay, then there's nothing to talk about. Go ahead, Levon.
To piggyback off that real quick, I don't think Orlando's ready for that. They get beat. I think they'd win one game. I think they're a good defensive team and they have size, but they can't shoot at all. So they couldn't keep up with Boston's offense, and they'd lose off that alone. They don't have enough shooters. They play with great energy and great effort. They have good defense. They got the size, but they don't have the shooting. Not even close. Um, the Knicks. The answer to the question, and then I'll talk about the Knicks. The answer to the question right now is Boston and Cleveland because that's the 1 and 2 team. That is what it is. I'm not going to talk about those two teams because I don't want to. But the Knicks' biggest problem has been rim protection. And when you don't have rim protection and when the middle is so wide open, you leave yourself susceptible to the three ball because of kickouts, because of help defense. And when you have players getting beat off the dribble with nobody to protect the rim, you got players coming to help, and it leaves open corners, open from the top, open from the elbows. And that's why their 3-point defense is as bad as it is. If you watch the games all year, the Knicks are giving up. I would love to know what the statistic is of points in the paint. What team gives up? We talk about the most threes. Which team is giving up the most points in the paint? Like where they rank in that? Because every time I watch the Knicks games, teams that go to the basket get whatever they want because nobody in there can deter or protect the rim. Hartenstein is gone, and Mitch has been hurt all year long. The Knicks have a chance if they don't completely lose their heart and soul, which it looks like is starting to wear on them, that they can't seem to beat these teams. And they're human beings. And when you run up against something that you just can't overcome, it wears on you. I don't care if you're, professional this or that. It wears on you. And it's obvious when they come out and they don't have the juice necessary to keep pace with these teams. They just don't have it. But if they can find it again, and if Mitch can ramp up in time, they can play with anybody. Because the biggest problem I see is that they can't protect the paint and they get out rebounded when they play against these teams, especially these last two games against Cleveland and Boston. They're just the second chance points after misses, the second chance opportunities that Luke Cornett, Horford, Porzingis, Mobley, Allen are getting these teams. The Knicks just can't compete with that because the only person they have rebounding the ball for them is Karl-Anthony Towns, and he will get 20 rebounds against, a smaller team or a team that doesn't have a big like that. But when he has to go up against other bigs, he comes up pretty soft. He does come up pretty soft, and that is why Minnesota probably traded for Rudy Gobert. I'm starting to see it now. It's because Cat is not that when it comes to playing the middle. He is not that. And you need somebody to do that if you plan to be a championship team. So yeah, Boston, Cleveland, but the playoffs are a different beast altogether, and nothing ever goes as planned. The Knicks owned Atlanta. What was it, 2 years ago? We owned them, and they bounced us as soon as the playoffs started, and we went up against them. They took us out. So you never know what's going to happen. But that's the Knicks' biggest problem right there. They got to get some rim protection. They got to protect the paint. And then maybe Mikal and OG and Josh can commit a little bit more to the perimeter defense and not have to help all the time when somebody's coming into the lane.
Um, I think we're saying the same thing. I think it's chicken and egg. Which one is a byproduct of the other?
Mhm.
And I do think rim protection is obviously a big problem. It was a problem when Mitch went down last season. But just to before Ace, before you go, just to give you an answer to the question that you had, the thought that you had, the Knicks are currently 23rd in the league in opponent points in the paint per game. They're at 49.9. They are in front of Dallas, Denver, Indiana, Atlanta, Washington, New Orleans, and Chicago. Chicago gives up the most at 55.6. And so that's where they sit right now in terms of opponents' points in the game, points in the paint per game. The number one team in that statistic is not shockingly the Oklahoma City Thunder, giving up 41.9. And who's the player that they got in the offseason?
Was there?
It was Isaiah
And they
Hartenstein,
got Chet.
who, and I mean, they already
Well,
had
Chet's been
Chet,
out
and then
most of the year, though.
they already had
Okay.
Chet, but they got Isaiah Hartenstein, who definitely played a huge role for the Knicks
Huge.
last season in
Yeah.
that respect.
Where is
In
Cleveland in that list? Where are they?
I think they're
Cleveland is
in the low
ninth.
teens.
They're
Ninth?
ninth at 47.3.
That's
Yeah,
shocking.
they're not bad, but they're
That's
not
why
great
I
at
don't believe in
Yeah,
Cleveland because they should not be that low with
it.
Mobley
Why?
and Allen.
yeah. So,
Well, Allen
well,
Allen's okay at it, but he doesn't have enough size. He's too light.
That's what
He's
I'm
too
saying.
physically
They
small.
should not be that low with those two guys starting. and you got two 7-footers, pretty much 7-footers starting, and you are ninth when it comes to giving up points in the paint. Cleveland is a soft team, bro. That's been proven. They are a finesse soft team.
That's why I kind of like the idea of them having to play Miami in the first round.
Truly. The Knicks, that's
That
another. Let me just
that
shoot this. I mean, we're going to talk about this, I guess, when we start recording. But the problem I have with the Knicks, say what you want to say about Julius, who I did not like on this team, but Julius was
he
gritty.
really didn't.
Julius
He's
was
gritty.
gritty. Julius was the type of player. The Knicks now, they don't have that, man. They don't have anybody out there
Oh my
who,
God. I never
listen,
thought I'd hear the day. I
no, no,
never
no.
thought
I'm
I'd
not
hear
saying
the
I
day.
miss
This man
Julius. I'm
used to
not saying that. But
bomb
the
the chat
players
talking
that the
about you got to
Knicks
get him off the
miss
team.
more than anything are Hartenstein, the Big Ragu, and Julius Randle, because
The
those were
big
hard
Ragu's
nosed
been hurt all
players.
year.
Those were hard nosed players who went out there, they banged, they did the little things, and there's no grittiness on the Knicks. The Knicks, except for Jalen, but he's 6'1", the Knicks don't have any
6'2".
hard-nosed, gritty players on this team. Josh Hart, to an extent, Josh Hart is getting like three feet of space, and he's scared to take a jump shot. Mikal Bridges is running around
He's
the
not gonna shoot in
baseline,
the yeah.
afraid to absorb contact and go up and shooting fadeaways all day. OG Anunoby's out there shooting, threes and not taking it to the basket. And when he does, he's turning. I'm like, what is this? The only two people willing to take on contact are Cat and JB. And Karl Anthony Towns is not what we need when it comes down to grittiness and banging in the paint and deterring teams and just letting teams know you cannot have your way with us
He went three
today.
for four today from 3 point.
I
Just
mean,
saying.
that's all well and good, but at the end of the day, you need
You need to be able to
hard
shoot the
nosed
three, and when he
players.
can do that, he can
Yes.
stretch the floor, which opens it up
Yeah,
for
and that's
everybody
that's what we've
else.
been doing, but it's not enough, obviously.
He
Because I'm
also
telling
had
you, if you
18
watch the
rebounds.
games, when the Knicks make their runs and when they're doing stuff, they may get a stop, but they fail to get the rebound. They fail to close. They don't get as many second chance opportunities. They don't get as many offensive rebounds as they did a year ago. You got to be hard nosed and gritty to get stuff like that. Isaiah Hartenstein was great doing that. Mitch is great doing that. They
And
don't
that's why
have
he's
that right
over in
now.
Oklahoma City because they'd rather have somebody who can score than who can just be great at defense. Because it's either
I
have
was
Karl
watching
Anthony Towns. No, the choice is we either get Karl Anthony Towns who can score 24 a game and get 18 boards, not a great rim protector, or you keep
terrible.
Isaiah Hartenstein at 18 million, who's a great rim protector, can get you 15 boards, but will never score more than 12 points in a game. Won't
Ace,
generate his own offense. Can't hit a
Ace,
three.
I vehemently
No,
disagree with that. If
no.
the Knicks were not, remember, the Knicks were
They
not
could
able to pay
they couldn't
Hartenstein.
afford him. It
They
happened
couldn't
before the
afford
trade. Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
They
They
were
could have
they.
they
It's
could
not.
have
It
made
wasn't.
trades to make the space.
No, it
What
wasn't
trades
that.
are they gonna make to make this
It
face?
wasn't that, Ace. It wasn't that. It was because of the structure of his contract. The most that they could offer him was 3 years, $67 million, and that was the max that the Knicks could have offered him, and he got a. I'm sorry, 62 million, and he got an $87 million
He took
contract
the
with
bag,
Oklahoma
which
City,
he should have
which
taken.
made perfect sense
Oh,
for him to take. But the Knicks would have loved the opportunity to pay him whatever he wanted, and pay him that value or at least match what the Oklahoma City Thunder were giving him. They couldn't. They legitimately couldn't. The max that they were able to offer in any contract to him was like 3 years, 60 something $1 million.
yeah, and it's you missed that, bro. Hartenstein, man, the hard nose play, the grit. There's nobody on the team like that. Cat flexes every once in a while. I mean, I like Cat, but he needs somebody next to him. He needs a tough guy next to him. Hartenstein and Randall were tough guys. You know, they were tough. Mitch and Randall bullied Mobley and Allen that year in the playoffs. Bullied them.
And
Cat
Karl
is not a
Anthony
bully.
Towns can do the same
Cat
thing.
can't find a
He
way to
can
post
and
up
will.
Jalen Williams and Drew Holiday,
He
six
can
five
and
guards,
will.
and he can't find a way to back them down and beat them into the paint without flopping and
Yeah,
looking for a foul, bro. And I love Mikal Bridges. I do. I still think he was worth the 5 picks, but
you really do.
he is playing really soft right now. Like, I don't
Mm.
understand why everything is a fadeaway, everything is a corner three, why this man can't create and get to the basket and challenge somebody. I don't understand it.
Hate to break it to you, we're not here to hear your Knicks gripes.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. And why OG Anunoby can't get a rebound?
No.
He is
No.
6'9",
Nope. Sir. Not here
250
for that.
pounds.
We're paying the
And
man
what is
$30
he
million to
averaging
be a
in
3-and-D player.
rebounds?
He's
What
taking
is he
threes and he's
averaging?
playing defense.
I don't
I think
understand
he
how he
averages
can't get
six
in
and a
there
half
and put his
rebounds a
hips into
game.
somebody and get a board.
Oklahoma City is the number one team in the league, number one team in the Western Conference. They were the number one team in the Western Conference last year. They basically locked it up and got better on defense by getting another center in there who actually weighs more than, a buck 80. So that's what's helping them. Karl Anthony Towns always has trouble with super tall centers like Kristaps Porzingis. I think having Mitch would be helpful, but Porzingis is a problem. Even though defensively, even though he wasn't, great, but he was good enough. It was the fact that
No,
they
when was he good? When?
Who?
You said Cat was good?
Porzingis?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You said Cat.
I
Okay.
was talking about Porzingis. Porzingis was actually really good defensively in the
Yeah,
game.
he wasn't bad. He could block a shot or two.
But overall, right now in the Western Conference, it's Oklahoma City, Memphis, Denver, and then the LA Lakers, and then the Houston Rockets, the Clippers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are fading, and the Dallas Mavericks, who are now in eighth. Golden State, who everybody seems to love, who's 30 and 27 in the ninth spot. Sacramento, who's 28 and 28. Phoenix, who's 27 and 30. And my San Antonio
I knew it
Spurs,
was coming.
saying are going to make the playoffs,
No, they're not.
24 and 31. Well,
No,
if
they're not.
Phoenix if Phoenix keeps losing and Sacramento keeps losing, I think San Antonio will get into the play-in, and then they get an opportunity to play their way in. I really could legitimately see if Anthony Davis can't come back, Dallas may not be in the playoffs. Dallas may just tank it out, and because they still own their pick, and they may just tank it out legitimately. They may just say, "AD, you go home, you sit down, do what you got to do." Every other center on their team is also hurt. Minnesota, they don't have enough. Gobert and and man, it's not enough.
Minnesota
They're
has
losing right
enough
now to
if they could
Oklahoma
get
City.
Randall and Ragu back, and they could
They
find
are
some
in the seventh
cohesion.
seed. They are in the seventh seed.
Oh, you mean they
They're
make it to the
31 and
finals, though?
26.
Yeah,
Barely.
they got the talent to do
They're a game behind the Clippers, so maybe they can catch the Clippers.
it.
Kawhi is actually playing games now, so he's going to play the last 30 games and get ready for the playoffs, which I think was what the plan was. So I'll go there from that, but I still believe that the San Antonio Spurs have a legitimate shot
Oh my
to
gosh!
not pack it in and make the playoffs.
Okay.
I believe that much in De'Aaron Fox. I really do.
I didn't hear you singing Sacramento's praises before he went to the
I
Spurs.
was. I was. That year they finally made the playoffs and they broke
I'm
the
talking about
streak.
this
I was
year.
out here talking light the beam. That was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah,
This year,
because
I
they
was like,
were
you know
last
what?
they were
No.
hot 2 years ago. We're talking about this year.
This
Did the
year, it wasn't
Spurs?
enough.
Did the
They couldn't
Spurs?
figure out the rotation, and they fired their head coach. So there was a lot
Spurs
of
just
dysfunction.
lost to the Pelicans today, man. Are you serious?
Pelicans are a tough team, man. Pelicans are a tough out.
14 and 43 tough. Yeah.
You know? Hey, the Lakers lost to the Charlotte Hornets at home.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but the
you lose
Lakers
to a
are not
bad
the
team.
Spurs. That's the
That's
whole point.
true. The
They're
Lakers are
not
the
the
Lakers, and they
Spurs.
lost to the Charlotte Hornets
The
in
Spurs
LA.
the Spurs
They
have
lost to the
lost their best player
Hornets.
for the year, sir.
It's
The
debatable.
year. They
Their
you
best
keep saying
defensive
30
player.
so games. They don't have 30 or so games left. Everybody had 28 games left, and everybody's
Their
played at
best
least 2
defensive player.
games since.
So wait,
Okay.
Ace, who is the Spurs' best player? Ace?
Their best defensive player they
Who is their?
lost.
No, I'm asking you who's their
Oh,
best
he
player.
said Wimby wasn't their best player.
Who is their best?
Their
I
best
want to because
their
if
best player.
if he is not their best player,
Oh my
if the one guy
gosh.
who made the
I'd
All
have
Star
to
team
go.
from this team is not the best
I'd have
player
to
on
go
the
with.
team, who is
I'd
it?
have to go with De'Aaron Fox, who were all
Man.
NBA last year.
De'Aaron Fox, who's been there all of a week and a half, is
That's
the best
correct.
player on the team, and
Stop.
he's been
Yeah,
there for a total of four
that is
games.
correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
Oh
All right.
boy.
See,
Shooting
this is
50% from
where
the
the show
field,
goes off
averaging
the
23
rails,
points a game.
you
Yeah,
lose
it
all
does because he
credibility.
just needs to admit. This goes back to my point. I'm like, he fails to admit when he's wrong. He would just not do it.
I
He'd
always
rather
admit when I'm
go
wrong.
down with the ship, die on that horse, than just
Die on what
admit.
horse?
Just admit, yeah, Spurs ain't gonna make it. I mean, they even give you an out. Wimby's hurt. You could at least use that as a
They
crutch,
have.
but
I
you
still
won't even
believe they
do
have a
that.
chance.
They don't. Well,
I
anybody has a
don't believe in
chance.
Sacramento. I
Anyone
don't
has a
believe in Sacramento.
chance.
Sacramento's
They
just going to
haven't
keep
won a
getting beat up
game since
repeatedly.
Wemby's been hurt.
They
They
have,
haven't won
actually.
a game yet
Oh
since
my
Wemby's
God, that
injury.
says it all right there.
No, but they have, though.
No, they haven't. He got
Oh
They
my
hurt.
beat
God.
Phoenix February 20th.
He didn't get hurt
We should put
on the
something
Thursday
we should put
before.
something on this to
Yes, he
make it
did. He didn't play
interesting.
in that game. Wemby didn't
Ace,
play in that game on February 20th.
if the
Wemby
Spurs
was
don't
hurt
make
in
the
his leg.
playoffs, let's make a wager. If the Spurs don't make the playoffs, you
I
have
already put a
to.
wager on it, and
No,
I get a
I
lot of
want to make
money
a
if they
bet.
do.
I want to make a bet right now. If the
You already lost the
Spurs
last one.
something that's going to actually impact you. If the
It's already going to
Spurs
impact me.
don't
I got a
make the
lot of money riding
playoffs,
on this.
you have to buy.
DraftKings
Okay, I
knows.
got it. Can I say what the wager is? Can I say
Please
it?
go ahead.
If the Spurs don't make the playoffs, you have to purchase a "Make America Great Again" hat,
Oh
and
no,
you have
that's
to
never going
take
to
a
happen.
picture. And you have to take a
No,
picture of yourself in it,
no,
post it
no,
as your avatar and Facebook page. Yes,
no.
that's what
Ain't
you
no
have to
way.
do.
No,
Since
no,
you're so confident,
no,
you've been saying this. They
no.
don't need
I'm not
Wimby.
doing that.
Make
I'm not
America
doing that.
Great Again,
I'm not
and
doing that.
you have to take a picture, and it has to be your
No,
Facebook profile, and it
Oh
has to be your
gosh.
avatar on this show.
over my
I never
dead
thought
body.
we'd get
Well, then
political
you
on
don't
this
believe
show.
in
I'd
you have
cut
no
off.
conviction.
I'd cut off a thumb before I did that.
You
Not
have
even a
no
pinky. I'd cut off
conviction.
a thumb.
You have no conviction. Then just
Okay.
stop it. Just stop
I've
baiting
already
us.
put my
Stop
money up
trolling.
with a reputable sports
Man,
book,
you don't care about those
and
pennies.
I am not trolling.
I want to
I think
compromise your beliefs. That's what I want to
oh
do.
no.
If you
See
believe
this
so much in De'Aaron Fox,
this is what your friends do, folks. They try to compromise your core
yeah,
beliefs.
because you need to stop.
Shame you
You are
publicly.
trolling. You are
I
trolling,
think
son.
De'Aaron Fox and Chris Paul are enough, man.
You
I'm
don't.
sorry.
You don't. Well, then
They
get the
don't have
hat.
enough size down
Get
low,
it.
so that's the real
Get
problem.
the
They don't
hat.
have a backup
Said
center.
Get
Chris
the hat.
Paul is enough. When has Chris Paul been enough for a team so far in his career? That's why he
The
doesn't have
Houston
any rings. He's
Rockets,
never been enough. He's
The
never been
Phoenix
enough.
Suns.
Chris Paul
Oh,
has never
Phoenix
been
Lord.
Suns
enough.
were
That's
better
why
with
he
Chris
has no
Paul than
championships.
they were better
Chris
with Chris
Paul,
Paul than they were with KD.
That's
Chris
crazy.
Paul has never been
They went to
enough.
the finals
That
with
was my
Chris
whole
Paul.
point. My whole point is if Chris Paul was ever enough, he'd have a ring. He has never been enough.
Nah, it's
That's
true.
Doesn't
ridiculous.
have it.
His whole career,
Ridiculousness.
he's not been. He's had opportunities. He's been on good
See,
teams.
when
Let's
Chris
With
pick some
Paul's the best
games. You
player
got to
on your
drop me to
team,
hate.
you have a problem because he's 6 foot
De'Aaron Fox is the
and
best
he's
player on their team.
not right now, yeah, because Wimby's hurt.
and
That's correct.
De'Aaron Fox is not winning you and is not getting you to the playoffs by himself.
Nah, he's
We
not.
will
Could
see.
beat the
He
Pelicans
didn't
To be
do it
today.
in
seen.
He didn't do it in
It's
Sacramento. Sabonis
it's
was the
unlikely.
all-star.
It's
He had
unlikely.
an all-star. He had an all-star next to him. He's
Actually,
never done it.
Sabonis never made the All Star team with Sacramento. I don't believe he keeps getting snubbed.
Ace? Oh my
He's
God.
Uh,
only made it. No, seriously, he's only made it with Indianapolis. I don't believe he's made it with Sacramento. And they keep making a
Oh,
big deal out
I
of it
know,
because he
I
keeps getting the
know,
numbers.
I know.
I'm not
He
saying
get,
he's not an All Star. I'm saying he literally did not make the All Star team with Sacramento. So you don't get to call him an All Star if he's not on the All Star team. That's all I'm
oh
saying.
my gosh.
It does actually matter. You can't sit here and call him an All Star if he's not on the All Star team. You don't get to
2022,
just do that.
23, he was an
You don't
all-star
get to
on the
do that.
Sacramento Kings.
there you go.
So 2 seasons ago.
Yes, he was an
When he was
all-star.
next to De'Aaron Fox.
When he was playing with
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox, he was an all-star
Two
on the
two
Sacramento
seasons.
Kings.
Nice.
So wait. Well, you admit that you were wrong right now because
Was De'Aaron? I
you
will
said you.
admit that I was wrong.
Oh, okay, all
Was he
right.
an
All
All
right.
Star last season?
Then I stand corrected.
No, and he wasn't
Was he an
when
All Star
Sacramento
this
wasn't.
season?
No,
And Sacramento made the playoffs last year, correct?
they made the play-in and they got bounced in the play-in. They did not make the playoffs.
Sabonis is a
Okay.
gritty player. We could use him,
He's never won a playoff series.
but he's gritty.
He's gritty. He doesn't win anything, but he's gritty.
I mean,
We want gritty.
we need
Not guys
gritty.
who win games. We want grit.
We need
We
gritty.
want grit.
We need
Not
it.
anybody who's won anything. We want grit.
We need gritty players on this team.
That sounds dumb. And I just want you to know that. That sounds dumb.
Well,
I
you
want
can't be
talent.
a winning player till you win something. So I mean,
I
I
want
don't
talent.
know how to answer that question. You just get winning players so you
Gritty.
can win. Then I mean,
Gritty.
then Steph and them boys are gonna win again. I don't know what to do, but Boston's gonna repeat. I mean,
Everybody's saying that it's Boston's title to win again. Somebody has to go take
yeah,
it.
because that's low hanging fruit. They're the defending
No,
champs.
because
Not
they're
much
playing
changed
really
from their
well.
team. Yeah, they're
They've
playing
played
well, and
50
they're the
games
defending
and they've
champs.
won 41 of them.
Anybody want to say
Like,
something
stop.
and reach and say no? It's going to be Minnesota. They're going to catch fire at the right time and rattle
Well,
off 16
I'm
wins.
reaching. I'm reaching, and you're saying I'm delusional. I'm
Yeah, because
reaching and
that's
saying San
Delulu.
Antonio's going to make the
That is
playoffs.
absolute Delulu. Me saying Minnesota is going to catch fire is actually possible. You said that the Spurs
Do you
without
think the Golden
Wimby
State Warriors
is going
make
to
the
make the
playoffs? Because they're
playoffs
in
after
ninth
they
right
lost
now.
to the freaking Pelicans today is
You,
Delulu.
you got the Warriors making it to the finals because they're 30-27, and if they make the playoffs, you know what seed they're going to be likely? The eight seed, which
I
means they're
think it's
playing Oklahoma
possible
City
they
in the first
could,
round.
but I would
They'd have
still
to play
pick.
Oklahoma City, then they'd have to play the winner of either
He
Memphis,
just jumps from one
Denver,
point
or
to
the
the other, one
Lakers.
topic to the other. When do we get on Golden State versus
But if I said
OKC?
Golden State, everybody would believe me because they got
Well,
Yeah,
if
Steph
you said
because
Golden
Curry.
you
State would make the
compare
playoffs,
Golden
yes, we
State
believe you.
to San
Yes, we
Antonio
believe
right
you.
now. What are you talking about?
Ridiculousness.
If you said Golden State would
Ridiculousness.
make the playoffs with a healthy Steph Curry, a healthy Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
and a healthy Draymond
So
Green
if
Draymond
over
Wemby
Green
was
Governor,
healthy,
versus
if Wemby
the
was healthy, you wouldn't be
Spurs,
questioning it.
no, we wouldn't. No, I would say that it's up for grabs. If
and
Wemby
I
was
did. We all
completely
agreed with you.
healthy,
We
I'd say
said
that
it's.
the
I said it's
West,
highly unlikely because of the
Let's
yeah.
schedule,
okay.
but it was
Let's pick some games
possible.
then.
But now
Let's
it's
pick some
not.
games.
Now it's
Let's pick
not
some games
possible.
from Monday. Clippers at Pistons. Both teams have 31 wins. Very important game for both of these teams for playoff seeding. Levon, who do you got?
I like
I'm not going to give you
Detroit.
a point spread because you don't know what that means anyway.
Yeah, I don't gamble. That's your thing. Uh I like Detroit. I like young upstart teams. I always have. Um, I like what they're building over there, and the Clippers are exactly what I don't like teams to do. Even though that's what my team did, and I ride with my team to the end. But I like to see Detroit, and they're hot right now, and I like Cade, and the Clippers are a Kawhi injury away from being back where they always are, which is close but no cigar. And James
Well,
Harden is
Kawhi is
questionably
healthy right now.
close. Well, right now, but he's in
Yes.
that Anthony Davis mold. Any given moment,
Wow.
he can be out, and that's just a
And they
fact.
have and they traded for your favorite player, Ben Simmons.
I think Ben Simmons had like one good game since he's been there, or maybe two.
You know,
But the Clippers,
he's a good defender,
yeah,
shooting
he's
at least
maybe
7% on
he
his field
is.
goals.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I've been watching Ben Simmons closely
Malik,
to know what he's doing.
I don't need a soliloquy. You made your pick. You took the Pistons. Malik, who you got?
uh, so I do want to hear what the point spread is on this one. Uh, Is this
The point spread is not been published on this one. It's
okay?
7 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, on
Okay.
FanDuel. Yeah, Sports
Okay. I'm
Detroit.
seeing on Sportsline, I'm seeing Detroit +1 is what I'm seeing. So take that for what it's worth.
It's as good as a pick
Um,
'em.
and I'm
Perfect.
yeah, I'm seeing I'm so it's a pick 'em and I'm seeing an over under of 223.5
I would take
um
the over.
on this. I would take the over as well. I think the over is probably the best bet in this game. Detroit's the home team, and if I have to say the legitimate All Star, because James Harden did make the All Star team, but I don't think he was an All Star. Um, the legitimate All Star in this game is Cade Cunningham. I think Cade Cunningham is finally playing. I mean, he's finally healthy and he's playing at the level of an All Star, and he's really driving this team. A young, hungry, gritty, to use Levon's word, team of guys who, again, they have some youth, but they do have some vets on that team. They have the
Ooh.
Tobias Harris, they have Malik Beasley, they have Dennis
Oh
Schroeder.
yeah.
They have guys who look, say what you want about them, but they have guys who have playoff experience. They have guys who have been in
That's
big
true. You
games
got
and
Paul
big
Reed.
play. They have guys who have played in big games and big moments and have been in the playoffs. This is not a team that's just a bunch of, young kids who have never tasted any kind of success in the NBA. So this is a team that, is going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs. And I think that against the Clippers team where Kawhi Leonard is questionable with a foot injury, with a foot situation, I won't call it an injury, but he's definitely questionable with a foot situation. And LeVon being right that he's literally, at any moment now he could call out of a game and say he's not playing because he's got knee soreness or because something swelled up or whatever you want to call it. I have a problem picking the Clippers in any game where it's this close. especially with them on the road, especially against a Pistons team that you can see light up the scoreboard on occasion. So I'll take the Pistons to cover the number, especially if they're getting a point here. I'll take them to cover the number as the slight upset, but really it's a pick 'em here. So I'll take the Pistons and the over.
All right. Kawhi didn't play on the 21st or on the 22nd, and he didn't play on the 22nd on Sunday against Indiana, so he's likely going to play on Monday. I think they're trying to hold him out on back-to-back games. Therefore, I'm going to go with the Clippers. They're just managing his injuries at this point. He's played 16 games. He's been playing well. Harden's healthy. Norman Powell's balling. Zubac has been playing very well. And Derrick Jones Jr. has been a really good defensive stalwart for them. And he's shooting 36% from three. So they even have some guys coming off the bench that can help them. So the second unit is actually getting it done too. It's really the fact that Detroit doesn't have much of a bench that I don't want to go with them. It's all their starters. So they're young, but they're going to have to burn themselves out to get there. And Jaden Ivey is kind of a weak point for that team, but he is currently injured. There's a leg injury. I don't know if he's going to play. So I'm going to take the Clippers on the road in Detroit because they can't party too hard between today and tomorrow. There's a back to back. Nuggets, Pacers, important game. Uh, this is also going to be on regional TV. The Denver Nuggets are favored by 5 points, minus 4.5. Pacers are at home. Vaughn, who do you got?
I like the Nuggets in this one over the Pacers. I'll never pick the Pacers. So yeah, give me
You
your
just
the Nuggets.
you don't actually think they're good, or you just not picking them?
Um, no, I don't think the Pacers are good. I think they got a
All right,
good coach. But that's probably my Knicks bias speaking. I'm not going to pick the Pacers unless they're playing like the Spurs or somebody like that. So Jokic and the
all
Nuggets are
right.
good, so they should win that game. Where is it being played at?
Being played in Indianapolis.
That'll give them a better chance, but Denver's got a better squad. Is Turner still out or is he back?
Who?
No, it's
Turner
Turner.
who?
Miles Turner's playing.
Miles
He's
He's
Turner
not
is
back.
healthy.
he's not on the injury report.
Yeah.
Well, that should help them. That should help them a little bit. But yeah, I picked Denver.
Okay. Denver. The problem with Denver is Nikola Jokic is leading them in every single statistical category. He's leading them in steals, blocks, assists, rebounds, and points. He needs some help. Man's tired. That's basically what it is. Like straight up, he shouldn't be leading them in every single category. They have Westbrook. They have Braun. They're getting a lot out of Westbrook considering how he's able to play. Aaron Gordon is finally getting back healthy. I think that's been the biggest thing. Jamal Murray is going to carry them. I think they win, but they don't cover. So I'm going to take Indiana to cover. The Nuggets are going to win this game by like 3 points. Malik, who do you got?
Um, so the Pacers have won three straight. They didn't make any moves at the deadline. Any notable moves at the deadline? Their main issue, really, in my opinion, watching some games from them, their main issue this year has been that Tyrese Halliburton hasn't been himself for the vast majority of the season. He hasn't
He's
been the
not been that
engine.
good.
He just hasn't been very good. Over the and when he's been good, they've been great. They've been fine. I mean, I would say great, but they've been fine. And they've been able to beat just about anybody. And he's been playing better over the last few games. In his last game against the Clippers, he led the team in scoring, finished with 29 points and 12 assists, and three steals in 30 minutes of play. So he had a overall very good offensive game, and when he's able to do that, Indiana's really good. And everything kind of runs off of his playmaking and his shot making ability as well. That said, I think that Jamal Murray should be able to match him point for point, probably just outscore him outright. And he's been playing fantastic over the last few weeks. And Denver, despite losing to the Lakers yesterday in blowout fashion, had won, I believe, 5 or 6 straight running. Oh, sorry, had won like 9 straight up until that point. So that's probably more of a schedule loss than anything else. That loss to the Lakers. So I think they bounce back pretty easily here. and I'll take the Nuggets to win. Um, I just in a quick rebuttal to your point, Ace, about Nikola Jokic leading the team in every statistical category. When has that been a problem for them before? He's always led them in points, rebounds, and assists.
Oh no, he didn't lead them in
So
assists when they won the title. That was Murray.
I'm gonna go back and look at that while you're talking about the next game, and
The
and
year they
confirm that.
won.
Okay,
The
that was
year they
being
won.
that be 2022, because they won in 2022.
Yes.
I'm gonna go confirm that. And but yeah, that doesn't seem to be a problem for Jokic. He's not somebody that plays off of, athleticism or, running up and down the floor, being faster than the next guy. Everything he does, he controls the space, he controls his pace. I don't think it's going to be a problem for him to continue to play at this high of a level, provided that everybody's making shots around him. So I don't worry about Denver and Nikola Jokic in particular. I think they're still the top two team in the Western Conference. So I'll take the Nuggets, and over under here is 245 and a half. I think I like the under for this.
You know what? I was wrong. He did lead them in 2022. He led them
Yeah,
by, yeah,
I'm.
he
I
got
was
two
pretty
more
sure. I was
assists.
pretty sure that. I was pretty
Murray
sure
was
that
getting
that was the
7 and he
case.
was getting 9.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was the case. But I let you rock on anyway.
So
Yeah,
Murray needs to step it up, I guess. He needs to get more assists because the ball's not moving.
the ball's not in his hand to do that. The ball run the game. The offense runs through Jokic. So and Murray plays his role as a scorer and facilitator
I hear you.
on the break. So
Step up the scoring. Uh, Timberwolves, Thunder on NBA TV. Timberwolves get a chance to prove it against the best team in the West. There is no line on this as of yet that I can see.
I think that
Levon, who you got?
I heard you say Timberwolves. Who are they playing?
They're playing the Thunder.
That's weird. They're playing them right now. So is that a
that's the
home and
game that's
home?
playing right now. That's why you're not getting a line on this, Ace.
No, they're going to play them tomorrow too.
Is that
Am I
home and
tripping?
home?
I believe so. I believe they're playing them Monday.
Okay.
No, that's the game that's going on right now. It's OKC at
No, they're playing
Minnesota,
them
right?
tomorrow. They're playing them tomorrow at 8 p.m. Monday, February 24th. Oklahoma City is favored by 12 and a half. They are
Where is that
currently
game?
playing.
In
It's
OKC.
in Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Okay, so it is a home and
Yeah,
home
it's
right
a
now.
home
Okay.
and home.
It's a home and
Um,
home, yeah.
damn,
Oh, Oklahoma City is favored by 12 and a half.
ask me in 6 minutes because whoever loses this game, I'm gonna take the person
Are
who
you
who
serious?
loses. This is
Are
a
you
highly
serious?
contested game, and I think the
Okay.
person who wins is gonna be at a disadvantage in
Way
the
to take a
next game.
stand. Way to take a stand. Malik,
Yeah.
What'd you say? You said it's OKC by 12 and a half?
OKC by 12 and a half. They're going back to
If
Oklahoma.
based off of
Same
what I'm
time zone.
seeing,
So
yeah, based
still
off of what
Central
I'm
Time.
seeing in this game right now, if you can catch that number right now, live bet right now, I'm taking Minnesota in a heartbeat. Um,
Getting 12 and a
they're
half points. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'm with the 12 and a half points. I think that number will go down based on the result of this game, whether OKC wins the game or not.
Hmm.
To Levon's point, it's been a very competitive game all the way through. Um, the Thunder have played well. They've got all of their pieces. They're doing their thing right now. They're up 5 against Minnesota, but Minnesota, we know Minnesota has played this team well and will play this team well and will probably continue to play this team well. So I'm taking it at the 12 and a half points. I'm taking Minnesota, easily against them. And I feel like if you can grab that now, I would take that right now because it probably gets back down to maybe 9 or 10, depending on the outcome of this game.
Okay. Well, Oklahoma City is up by 8 as I have
They're up
it,
by
but I
8
may
right
be a little
now.
bit behind it.
Caruso just hit a
They
3.
great. If they win by 10,
Wow.
not bad. Even better. Tomorrow, also an important game as I see it, a race to the bottom. The Jazz are playing the Trailblazers. Whoever wins this game gives them an opportunity to get the first overall pick and secure Cooper Flag. Levon, who do you got? The Jazz are at home, and the Portland Trailblazers are favored by 2.5 points.
I'm gonna go with Portland. Utah's getting Cooper Flag.
Yeah, they're one of the worst teams in the league. They're not the worst, but they're up there. That would fit. That would fit with the rest of their roster.
That's exactly why I
Still
said
don't
it.
have a point guard. I don't think he's going to end up there, and I think he might actually stay in if he doesn't, because he
Hmm.
looks like he's going to be a wizard. Unfortunately, Malik, who do you got?
I I would hope that if one of these two teams gets the number one pick in the draft, I would hope that Cooper Flag pulls an Eli Manning or a Shador Sanders or a John Elway and
And
says,
just goes back. He can just
I'm
stay in
not going to play
college.
with these two. I'm just going to keep my eligibility. I'm going to stay in college another year, or I'm going to force my way into a better situation because not just because those teams are bad, but because those teams have been bad for a long time, since and haven't shown the ability to put together a roster with a coaching staff that can help get them out of the doldrums of the West. I also don't think Cooper Flag should want to go to the West Coast if he could possibly avoid that. Um,
Ah, okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't see how this is a race to the bottom. I mean, Utah is 14-41, and Trailblazers have 10 more wins than them. So I think even if Utah were to win this game, it'd still be pretty clear that Utah is the worst team one of the worst teams in the league, them in New Orleans. I think if Utah was playing New Orleans, it's
Utah, and
definitely
Portland are respectively 14 and 13 in the West. So that's what I mean, race to the bottom.
right, but the difference
They're,
between them
none of
is
them are
like
making the
10.
playoffs.
The difference between them is 10 games. Utah's 14-41. Trailblazers are 24-33. So it's
That's
not to
fair.
say that
All right.
there's bad and then there's Utah and New Orleans. Like that's that's the reality situation. I'll take the Trailblazers
All
because
right.
I believe that they are the better team. And we do know that at the very least right now, both Markkinen and Clarkson, and I'm sorry, Clarkson and John Collins are not going to play on Monday, and Markkinen is currently questionable. And those are the three best players on this team. So most likely, they're not playing. And, even though Portland's going to be missing DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, and Matisse Thybulle, I don't think that matters as much. Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, those guys are still playing, and so I'll roll with them. But I'm not putting
All
any
right.
money on this game. Not getting
Next
cute.
up, we have Miami and Atlanta. Well, I'm taking the Portland Trailblazers. That's a lock for me. Portland Trailblazers, my lock to beat the brakes off of Utah tomorrow. They're actually playing well, and they made some moves to get some better players for them. So Jeremy Grant is back and they're healthy. They're trying to make at least a play in. I don't think they'll make the. I don't think they'll get there, but they're pushing. They're a game behind San Antonio, so they have to at least try. They've been too bad for too long with that young talent, and Aiden's not playing terrible. Miami is going to Atlanta. Miami is the eighth seed at 26 and 29. Miami is 26 and 31. This game actually matters to both of these two very mediocre or below average teams, I would say, by their record. But in the East, they're still in it. Tyler Hero is the leader now of the Heat by points and assists, and Trey Young equally the all star, both of them, points and assists for both of their teams. Miami is favored by 1.5 on the road in the ATL. Levon, who you got?
Two teams that I don't like for obvious
You don't
reasons.
like the you don't like the Hawks?
And I'm not picking the Hawks after Trey Young was bold enough, even though it was gritty, to roll dice
You
on
love that grit.
huh?
You love that grit, huh?
I mean, I like a little edge when it comes to sports. You need, you got to have that. Well, no, you don't have to have it. You could be LeBron James, but
LeBron James doesn't have grit.
nah, LeBron James doesn't need to have it. He's 6'9", 300 pounds, and moves like he's 6'1", 1 feather pound. He doesn't have to have any of that. He's naturally gifted. If he had that,
You think he's playing without? That's interesting. You think he plays without grit? All right, go
no.
ahead. I want to
I
hear
mean,
the rest.
to me, with a
Go ahead.
gritty players are like, Jordan, Kobe, gritty
Jordan's
players.
gritty.
Yeah, Jordan was gritty.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Jordan was
All
gritty.
right. No, no. All right. Continue.
Jordan
Continue
was
with your pick,
Jordan was a
please.
gritty player.
Let's not
Jordan
compare
was
him
a
to somebody from 40
scrappy.
years ago. But
Jordan was
let's
a
go.
scrappy, gritty player. Kobe was a scrappy, gritty player.
You know,
Maybe I'm
scrappy isn't
gritty.
really a compliment, right?
Gritty is the wrong
Matthew
word.
Dellavedova is
How
scrappy.
about edgy? Is edgy better? Edge. Play
Scrappy's
within
not a
an
compliment.
edge.
Scrappy denotes a lack of talent,
All right, so edge and
ability.
edge. Play with an edge. Play with an edge. How about that?
Okay,
Players who they have a
that's
little bit
fair.
more than just their God-given talent. They harness something else and
That's
use
more of
it
a
to their
compliment. Yeah.
advantage. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yes, give me I guess give me Miami in that one. Tyler Hero. I like Tyler Hero, by the way. Always did like his game. And
Really?
Bam.
I
And
didn't
Bam
guess that.
Adebayo. And I got great respect for Eric Spoelstra and his coaching style.
I don't think Bam's playing to the best of his ability, but I do like Bam's game. I think Tyler
Yeah.
Hero's a much better shooter than they're giving him credit
Yeah.
for. Malik, who do you got?
Atlanta's coming off. This was be a back-to-back for them. The surprise. I don't know how this happened, but they managed to give up 148 points to the Detroit Pistons in a non-overtime
Correct.
game. 148
Correct.
point. They lost 148 to 143 this afternoon on HBCU night here in
Two
Atlanta. Um,
290 points.
yeah, 290 points scored in a in a 48-minute
48
game,
and
an
8. Yeah.
actual NBA game, no overtime. Um,
That's right.
yeah, this team can't
Correct.
defend anybody, and it's surprisingly,
Wow.
it's so shocking how DeAndre Hunter leaves this team and their defense just
Is that
goes in the
true?
absolute tank.
They
He
went
wasn't a
20
rim
of 40 from
protector.
three. That's how that happened.
Yeah, he wasn't a rim protector, but this team is
Mm.
just really bad defensively now and has been really pretty much ever since he's been gone. Anyway, Miami should be able to win this game pretty handily, in my opinion. They're rested and they're at least capable defensively. I do think that Hero Levon's point right. Hero's been playing really well. First time All Star this year, has been doing his thing, and it seems like even Wiggins has a little bit of juice now. In Miami now that he's not kind of bogged down with the expectations of being a contributor
Good.
on a championship level team. Um, like in the Warriors who like expect to be in a championship, every season and things of that sort, and like the pressure of that's not on him anymore. So he kind of just plays a little bit more freely, and he's actually doing pretty well. So I'll take Miami in this game, and clearly I'm going to take the over because I don't think either one of these. I don't think the defense is going to be played on at least on the Atlanta side. Miami's
That's
going to play
fair.
some defense though.
Yeah, Miami just played a tough game against the Hawks. They scored 113 points. I mean, Miami just played a tough game against the Bucks, not the Hawks. Against the Bucks, the Hawks just plain out got outscored. Three players in that game for Detroit made more than six threes. They took 40, they hit 20. So they shot 50% from three, and that's how you can lose. It's unfathomable, but somehow they managed to do it. Trey Young went 6 for 15. Dyson Daniels 3 for 3. So even Ricochet had a really good game shooting wise. So maybe they can play a little bit of defense. They're going to play Capella more. They have Harris LeVert on the bench. They got Trey Mann. They have a pretty good team. They got some talent. They're not really developing any of the young
Mm.
guys that they have. They don't really need to. I
Damn.
feel bad for anybody who's getting drafted to this team, but it is what it is. Maybe if Larry Nance Jr. can get healthy for them, they could use him. He's a good defender, and he can make a difference. Atlanta's going to try to make the playoffs. They literally need to win this game. So I think they will because it's a back to back and they're at home. So being as they're already at home, oh no, this isn't a back to back for Atlanta. They didn't play today, did
They
they? Oh,
did.
they
They
did.
played today against. That was the game against
So the
Detroit
Heat
that I
have
just.
to go from the Heat have to go from Milwaukee to Atlanta. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taking the Hawks. They're at home. So point blank period. On a back to back, I'm always going to take the home team. The other team tends to struggle, and you're getting points at home. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
the
going to
Heat
lose
are
at
not
home.
on a back to back though. The Heat played
Yeah,
Saturday.
they are.
No, the Heat played
No, didn't the
Saturday.
Heat play today?
No, the Heat played
The Heat played
Saturday
today
against
against the
Milwaukee.
Bucks.
They
Am I
played
tripping?
Saturday against Milwaukee. They did not play today against Milwaukee. They played Saturday.
You say so.
I'm on NBA.com. I'm looking at the schedule.
All right.
They played Saturday,
Yeah, I'm
and
I'm
the
on I'm on
Hawks
a
played
yeah I'm
today.
on a different sports app and I'm looking at it and it says the game was today, but I'm tripping, I guess.
You guys are tripping me out. What's happening
No,
here?
seriously, it says Sunday, February 23rd, and it has Heat and it has Bucks and it has the Bucks winning today.
It does.
But
I'm
the
looking at
important
the same thing.
yeah, But the important part is that the Hawks are going to beat the Heat tomorrow on Monday on FanDuel Sports South. Give me the Hawks. Give me those 1.5, and I'm gonna take the over. The over is a solid bet.
Yeah, Malik, it's Sunday. They played.
Funny, yeah. The NBA.com says it was Saturday.
No,
Maybe
I'm
the game
going to
ended. Maybe the game ended Sunday. I don't know.
Saturday.
Oh, no. It
Nah,
could
the
have ended in the night. Who the
NBA.com's
hell
got that
knows?
wrong. It was today.
Listen, Levon, go with your shout outs.
Oh, shout
If you have,
outs. Let me go last. Let me go
what is
last.
this? No, no, you're going first.
Why do I have to go
Wrap it up,
first?
B. Wrap it up
I always get to go first with the shout outs. I'm starting to think that there's a
because you never really
conspiracy involved.
prepared them. You never
Huh?
really prepared. You never
No, I
really
don't.
prepared
You
them.
guys
That's all.
prepare your shout outs?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
the closing
I know
statement.
who I'm shouting out, but I don't
You prepare
necessarily
your
prepare.
It's
I don't
like Jerry
necessarily prepare
Springer in his
this
final
the
thought.
monologue, but I
I
know
didn't know I had to
who I'm
prepare a
picking.
closing statement. All right,
You don't.
I have a prepared closing statement.
Could just be
Uh,
top of mind.
but it's that's normally what I do, top of mind. But you're saying that we have to have something prepared. You prepared something. I had no idea.
You know what? That would require producing, and that's not something that's a strong suit on the show. So
Um, Let me see. What's top of mind? What's top of mind? I want to shout out my I want to shout out my friend Aaron, who is a man of conviction and has decided to stand on business and wagered that if the San Antonio Spurs do not make the playoffs, he will don a Make America Great Again hat, red and white in color, that he will
never
purchase.
said that. That will
Order.
not happen.
You had
Never said that.
interrupted my shout out, sir. And that if they do not make the playoffs, because he is confident that the Spurs will, because he bet his hard-earned money that he could use towards his children's food, survival, room and board, but he chose to place that money in harm's way on a foolish wager that the Spurs would actually make the playoffs. So why not buy a Make America Great Again hat and wear it? Because our president, our nation's president, the country in which he lives in, Donald Trump, you know, he promotes that hat. That is his calling card. He plans to wear this hat and take a picture of it, smiling like his cartoon figure here, all red faced, and post it as his avatar on this show. But that's only if the Spurs don't make the playoffs. So they're gonna make it. So he doesn't have to worry at all about doing this. So I just want to commend you for standing on business, sir. Man of conviction, no fear. And I want to shout you out, Ace, a fearless host and leader, Uptown Parlay
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you. And you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. I believe we are back on Spotify, but please go to our YouTube, our Facebook page, and the website, uptownparlay.com, where you can find our picks, and we upload the podcast to there whenever it will be live, which will be on Monday, February 24th. I will be doing no such thing. I have made no such bet with Levon. I will never be wearing a MAGA hat. That is not me. It is an anathema to my being and what I stand for as a person. Uh, yeah, this is a DEI show, so I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to do that here. But I would like to take this opportunity to shout out the Knicks for actually giving an effort in the second half of that game and actually trying to come back and play and getting it within 5 points.
Mm.
Shout out to Tibbs actually using the bench for once in his life. Karl Anthony Towns played 41 minutes of 48-minute game. Hopefully, these guys are going to get a chance to rest the second half of the season. And shout out to the New York Yankees for getting some pitching and taking care of business. And spring training is opening up, and I will pay attention to baseball sometime around July when I care about baseball again. And yeah, and shout out to the combine because apparently we need that data point to make sure we know who's out there competing and throwing and running and jumping and measuring people's hands to see how big their hands are. Because you don't have small hands, you can't be a good NFL quarterback. That's super important to everybody who will be in Indianapolis eating that nasty shrimp cocktail that we saw them eating in the Giants off-season program last year. Let's see what teams are making terrible moves and decisions on Hard Knocks off season this year, as we will all be watching. We start itching for more football come July and August. So shout out to that. Malik, go ahead.
Yeah, bouncing around a little bit here this time around. I will start off with a sport that we generally don't talk about, but we actually did talk about a little bit in the beginning of this show.
Soccer?
Hockey. Shout out to Alex Ovechkin, who with a hat trick yesterday is now 13 goals away from breaking the NHL record for goals scored. Of course, previously held by, currently held by Wayne Gretzky. I don't think that, I know that ESPN is talking about it now. I don't think that people like this is probably one of those records. I mean, people don't give a lot of credence in this country to hockey, but that's one of those records that kind of like the home run record, kind of like the 100 points in the game record. With this is one of those records that when it was set by Gretzky, no one believed it would be surpassed. Like no one believed it, even as great as some of the great players that we've seen in the game since then, from the Sidney Crosbys to the Steve Weisermans, those gentlemen, like all the great scorers, Teemu Solani and those guys, all the great scorers in this game. No one believed that anybody was going to actually surpass this. So the fact that Ovechkin is even close to this milestone in this season is incredible. If he doesn't make it, who knows if he actually plays another season to try to eclipse it or whatever. But shout out to him because this is really big, and I'm checking for it pretty much on a at least on a every other day basis. I'm checking to see how things are going, and I don't have a subscription to any streaming hockey services, but I do watch
ESPN
as
Plus, that's all
enough.
you need. You need plus
That's
pluses.
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do have ESPN Plus. But I do check in on it on a regular basis just to see how things are going. And he's been a great for a very long time. So I want to give him a shout there. Shout out to Joel Embiid for playing in the Olympics last season, last summer, and completely destroying the Philadelphia Sixers' chances of being anything worth talking about over the course of the season. This season, look, um, if there is a team that I dislike more than the Celtics and the Heat, it is the Philadelphia 76ers. And the talk
Really?
of the town,
Really?
the talk of the NBA offseason last year was, oh, how great the Sixers were going to be when they got Paul George at $250 million, and they spent all that money on getting him, even though most people, especially the three people on this show, believe that Paul George was not worth that big of a contract. They gave him $250 million, and they believed that this was going to propel them into the top seed or the top two seed in the Eastern Conference. And then Joel Embiid went and played in the Olympics and played, about okay on a team that probably would have won the gold medal without him. Um,
But now he
and
has
he
a
went
gold medal, though.
now he has a gold medal, and he's getting ready to go speak to doctors about a potential other procedure or another procedure potentially on his knee, exploring options. He won't call himself out for the season, and Philadelphia won't do it either. But he's definitely still injured. He's definitely not getting any better, and any chances of him being able to carry this team into the playoffs, slim to none. Slim to none. Let's just say that. And with the fact that they lost their game against OKC a few nights ago, they are they are in sole possession currently of the sixth worst record in the NBA. Their first round pick is top six protected, which means that if they get a pick outside of the top seven, they lose that pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're currently the best team in the Western Conference. But if they
That would be
lose that pick,
insane.
so him not playing actually helps them because they'll likely have a higher pick. But in any event, with our luck, they'll get like the seventh pick, and then they'll lose that pick to OKC and continue to be absolutely horrible. But anyway, um, so shout out to Embiid for going out there for country and doing it all for the
That is not a
country,
real shout out. How dare
and
you?
doing it all for your country. It was great. Congratulations and thank you for doing that because you completely tanked the Philadelphia 76ers season, and I'll take that. Philly has done enough winning thus far this year. And last but not least, shout out to all the young men going into the NFL Combine this week. This is probably one of my favorite weeks of the NFL offseason. Just getting a chance to watch and listen and hear all the conversation and commentary about these young guys who are, chasing a dream of playing in the NFL and seeing where they land. And this is, just really important for those young guys. And so shout out to them for, going out there and working hard and doing whatever they can to put themselves in position to be drafted into the NFL and again chase and live out the dream of being a professional athlete. So shout out to them. Hope you all do well. Hope nobody gets hurt. Uh, and hope somebody breaks the 40-yard time again. Let's break Xavier Worthy's record. Let's do it again. Let's try to do it every year. Let's get somebody go with 4.2 flat. That'd be cool. And that's it.
Oh, oh, and to tag on to your shout out to Paul George, who said, you know what, the fans want us to play super hard, but players just want to go on vacation. They just want that break. And you know what? I agree with him. We should make sure that Paul George always gets the All Star break off. So let's make sure from now on we vote for everybody else in the front court, but Paul George in the East, where he will be playing for the next 4 seasons.
We won't
So
have to
let's
worry
make
about
sure
that.
Paul
He's not
George
doing
gets an
it.
All Star break. Let's make sure he gets a vacation for the All Star break, no matter what, and just keep sending everybody else but him. How's that? How's that, fans? I know this is listened to internationally. Let's vote for everybody but Paul George from now on. Let's give him what he wants. He's got enough money. He needs to go on vacation. So let him go on vacation. And we out.
Peace.